Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris is now on the Audacy app and Audacy.com.
Now, it's time for Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris. Here's your host, Greg Bicouvaris.
And welcome back to Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris, now on the Audacy app. Audacy owns several radio stations all over the country. Glad to do it here from Virginia Beach. And of course, don't forget CP Shuckers has two great locations in Virginia Beach to serve you excellent food. It's a pleasure to talk to Rick Kiefner, associated with Old Dominion for over 50 years. He's been on Sports Highlights and Sports Scene in the past. How are you, my friend?
Doing very well. Looking forward to talking with you and talking about Old Dominion.
Very good, very good. Old Dominion is off to a decent start. I wouldn't say it's a great start, but a decent start after a slip against Virginia Tech. They've got a bye week, and they got Appalachian State next. Yeah,
Appalachian State losing, I guess, last night to Coastal Carolina, so they're going to be ready to go. They are also going to have a little bit of time to get ready for the game since they played last night, and they'll actually be here on the 21st. It'll be a 7 o'clock game, so it's going to give Old Dominion a little bit of time to prepare for the Mountaineers. They certainly have a good football program. We have not been very fortunate playing the Mountaineers in the last few years, but it'll be a home game. Looking forward to it.
Old Dominion is definitely much improved from last year. Whether they have a winning record or not, that still remains to be seen. But I'll say this, Rick, the Sun Belt and Old Dominion in general, they don't have a whole lot of TV games. Last night was, their one game of the week, usually what they have. They get the ESPN Plus, but that's pretty much a service they do for all the colleges. Why the night games when it's not necessarily a designated TV game? 7 o'clock is kind of late in the fall, in my opinion. I still think people at Old Dominion like the early afternoon games when they can, because a lot of times people tend to leave after halftime.
I don't know the answer, to be honest with you, Greg. The fact that they have the opportunity to be on the NFL Network for a Saturday game, obviously they're at the they have to do what is best. And so in talking with Wood Selick and some of the athletic people the other day, they're happy that they're going to be getting on a national TV network. The NFL, obviously, it's not as big as ESPN or Fox or what have you, but it's still a relatively new program, so it's going to be interesting. Talking to some people, though, as far as the fans, they're looking forward to it. They are going to open up the gates 5 hours before the game starts, so we're going to have some Old Dominion fans that will be tailgating for 5 hours, so it should be a party atmosphere for a 7 o'clock kickoff.
Those are diehard fans. Yeah, the NFL Network is excellent. Been around for several years, and that's great exposure for any team in the Sun Belt to get that. I'm just talking in general when they don't have a designated TV game like Virginia Tech or somebody else, why play at night? That's my opinion.
I guess they feel basically that they can get more people in attendance at the games. There's not maybe as many conflicts or what have you. A lot of people have kids that they want to watch their athletic events, et cetera, and so maybe the fact is that they would have more people in attendance. But to my knowledge, Greg, right now, as far as the home schedule is concerned for 2023, going forward, the only game that has a scheduled time would be on the 21st, which is a 7 o'clock game. And the reason it's at 7 is because the NFL Network dictated they wanted at 7 o'clock. Looking at the other games, right after that, they got a tough game. They are playing James Madison University. That's going to be on the road. It's homecoming for the Dukes of James Madison. And right now, we do not know what time that game would be taking place. It could be a night game. It could be an afternoon game. And it depends on who will pick that up, whether it be like ESPN, ESPN2, Fox, or what have you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, that's going to be some revenge for Old Dominion because they did not play well against James Madison last year.
I don't even want to talk about it. Last year was, it was awful. Big win for James Madison, but not a very good loss for the Monarchs of Old Dominion.
And just to entertain folks a little bit, because I do a lot of the TV games, is that 7 to 10 days it's usually picked for, the weeks ahead, or sometimes like in the ACC, it's a 6-day window depending on how good the teams are. So it's very intriguing. This is crunch time, and I guess Old Dominion's goal at this point, Rick, is still to try to get to a bowl.
3-3. The magic number is 6. They have got six games left, 3 on the road, 3 at home. They've got a tough schedule, as we mentioned. On the 21st, they've got Appalachian State at home, and then James Madison on the road. And then in November, they have a home game against Coastal Carolina, which beat Appalachian State for the first time. And then, Greg, they are on the road, Liberty, Georgia Southern, which are really good football squads. And then the last game will be this Saturday after Thanksgiving. They're at home against Georgia State. So not an easy schedule, both home and away, but the magic number not only for Old Dominion, but any of the teams that want to go to a bowl is 6, and they're halfway there right now.
Like you said, it will not be easy, but they have definitely improved. And Old Dominion's been in every game they played this year. They are playing for 60 minutes. I guess they need to learn how to close games out like the Wake Forest or the Virginia Techs and the Virginias of the world.
You're right, Greg. Against Wake Forest, they twice had a lead of 17 points. They were not able to finish that game and really had a chance to win that game. And then in Virginia Tech up in Hokieville, they played with Virginia Tech until the fourth quarter and wound up a couple of really serious turnovers caused that score because it was about a 5-point game in the fourth quarter. So they have been in every game, as you mentioned, and I think that's been a big improvement this year over last year.
Absolutely. And Virginia Tech and Virginia have had pretty rough seasons. Virginia Tech has played better than Virginia has, but Old Dominion and James Madison are two of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, I think right now most people will agree the best team in the state is James Madison University, and of course Old Dominion will be going up there on the 28th of this month to see how good they stand against James Madison. But and James Madison had a couple of votes, I think, early in the football season for top 25. So they've got a good football program up there, and Old Dominion will be the homecoming opponent for James Madison University. So hopefully Old Dominion will be able to play well in that game and hopefully come away with a win.
Because usually schools pick a pretty weak opponent for their homecoming game, but I hope that's no reflection of the outcome that will happen. James Madison, folks, did beat Virginia earlier this year, although Virginia was winning most of the game.
We are the homecoming opponent for James Madison. We've been the homecoming opponent for Southern Miss, and then the week before we were also the homecoming opponent. So I guess a lot of people are interested in Old Dominion, but here we are 3-3, and the magic number is 6 if Old Dominion wants to go to a bowl game, and hopefully they'll continue to play well and continue to improve over Coach Ricky Ronnie.
Let's switch gears to basketball. Jeff Jones, hard to believe he's been the head coach since the 13-14 season. He continues to roll on, but people will be expecting his team to improve this season.
I've been at practice, and to give you guys a little insight, that there are 15 players that are on the team this year. Of course, you can only have 13 players with scholarship, but there are 15 players. And of the players that actually dressed out last year, they have 6 returning players. They've got 9 new players. But looking at the players and with their ability, I think this is going to be a better team than last year, and I think it's going to be more athletic. And last year's team was very athletic. They have got some really good players, and I'm anxious to see what they've got. 2 freshman brothers that are coming in. Last name is Allette, Allettee. One brother was he's 6'3", 175 pounds, was the top player in all of Canada. And I think he is going to be a nice, welcome addition to this Monarch basketball team. And they've got some seniors. A lot of people remember Jason Wade. He's the son of Ronnie Wade, and he is in his senior year this year. And, he is a player that makes all the other players better. So when he's on the floor, the other 4 players are always better. I mean, he really, I hate to use this term, but he really is kind of like a coach on the floor for Jeff Jones, and we're so happy to see him contribute last year and make an impact on this basketball program. He's a senior from Richmond, Virginia, and let's not forget our leading scorer last year was Chauncey Jenkins. Chauncey Jenkins is one player that when he goes one-on-one, there are not too many people that can keep up with him. So I think this is going to be a better scoring team. They're not going to be as tall as some of the teams they face, but they're going to be physical. They're going to do what Jeff Jones likes to do, play hard defense and rebound. And remember last year they wound up moving the ball a lot faster and down the court than they have had in previous Jeff Jones years. So I'm really looking forward to it. 9 new players coming in. A couple players have a lot of good credentials. They have transferred for some good schools. We've got a junior named R.J. Blakeney who started like 20 games last year for Dayton in his sophomore year. And you've got a player that was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that went out to Oregon, Tyrone Williams. So I think we're going to see a team that's going to be able to score a little bit better than they did last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Jenkins is a really excellent player, you mentioned, and Old Dominion is always doing well during the regular season, and Coach Jones has made the postseason with Old Dominion. But the key is evolving to the postseason because pretty much, Rick, I know you're biased. You went to Old Dominion, but people remember what you do in the postseason.
Oh, absolutely, and obviously everybody wants to go in the postseason. He's got a tough schedule, both home and away, so it's a long season with 30-some games, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys all gel together because, again, you've got 9 new players that'll be wearing the Hudson blue and white this year. So I think, again, they'll be a little bit more athletic than they did last year, and I think they're going to see the scoring average go up for this team.
Jenkins and Wade, great 1-2 punch, correct, Rick?
Absolutely. Well, Wade, not so much as far as scoring, but again, he just makes the other 4 players so much better. And he usually does. He's just a smart kid, plays hard just like his dad. His dad, Ronnie Wade, was such a good player for Old Dominion University, a good team player. And just like, his dad, I think Jason is a good team player. And his biggest attribute, in my opinion, is he makes the other 4 players on the floor much better.
Basketball will start in earnest in November. Rick, all the best, and tell the fans how long you've been associated with Old Dominion and broadcasting. You primarily are part of the football pregame show now, correct?
I was looking it up. I actually started in November of 1970. It was right out of college, and started helping doing the games. Back then it was with Dick Lamb and Dick Frame, and then the next year they promoted Dick Lamb to the station manager and it wound up just being Dick Frame and I. So it's been Dick Frame and I, and then Bob Rathman and Gary Cohen, who's now the voice of the New York Mets, and all the way to Ted Alexander. So I was thinking the other night about all the coaches that I've had an opportunity to work with. They've all been great guys. Just a lot of fun from Sonny Allen down to Jeff Jones. So it's been a lot of fun. And as you mentioned, I host the pregame show for the football, which is just a lot of fun. And quite frankly, when I went to school, I never, ever thought, Greg, that we would have a football program at Old Dominion University. And when we finally did, I never, ever thought that we'd be playing Virginia Tech, University of North Carolina, some of these other schools. So it has been just a lot of fun for me over these years, and I've been very fortunate to have a small part and be associated with the Monarchs of Old Dominion.
Right. Football and basketball are both social, but basketball, you see people face to face. Football is kind of difficult because everybody's spread out. But Rick, all the best to you and the football team the rest of the year and the basketball season, the men's and women's basketball teams both.
Thanks, Greg. It was a pleasure working with you.
Always. Rick Kiefner right there with Old Dominion. Stay tuned. Sports Scene will continue after these messages.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual and comfortable atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar is located at 4201 Granby Street and is a tradition in Norfolk. Call 640-7705 and log on to MiHogarMexicanRestaurant.com. At Mi Hogar, there's something for everyone.
I Love Hydroponics in Newport News, your growth store on the peninsula, the premier place for supplies and consultation, build-a-soil, AC, and Infinity, and other top products available, including many more. Located at 954 J. Clyde Morris Boulevard in Newport News. Like them on Facebook. They are open daily. Cecil and his staff will greet you the minute you walk in with your best interest in mind. I Love Hydroponics in Newport News, the premier store on the peninsula for supplies and consultation. Outback Steakhouse in Kempsville and Virginia Beach, open daily for lunch and dinner. Mike and the staff will take good care of you. Burgers, steaks, salads, appetizers, desserts, and much more. Great atmosphere, nice bar, spacious dining room. 1255 Fordham Drive in Virginia Beach. This segment is brought to you by Linda Matney Art Gallery. Go by and see John Lee Matney and the great staff right there, where art comes alive in Williamsburg. Always great exhibits, great shows, excellent website as well, lindamatneygallery.com. Give them a call at 757-675-6627. And of course, they are on Facebook, Linda Matney Gallery. Fine art, exquisite art. Don't let art vanish in Williamsburg. Right there at Linda Matney Art Gallery, the premier art gallery in Hampton Roads in Virginia is the Linda Matney Art Gallery. They are on social media. It's a pleasure to talk to Father George Chioros, priest of Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News since 1999. Father, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Very good, very good. Big event coming up in a few weeks in Newport News. It's the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Tell us all about it.
Well, we're going to open on Thursday, October 26th at 4 p.m., and then we'll be full days Friday and Saturday, the 27th and 28th, indoor in Sakalis Hall of our Hellenic Center, located on 60 Traverse Road in Newport News.
I think that's great, too, because when you think of the fall, especially almost November, it is chilly outside,
Yes.
and people want to enjoy their meal in a most pleasing atmosphere.
And they certainly can do that. And again, the weather will not be an issue for us, whether it's pleasant or if it's raining. It doesn't have any problem with that. So we're hoping that people will be able to come out. We're right off of I-64, right on J. Clyde Morris and Traverse Road. Ample parking, free admission. And just we'll appreciate everybody taking in not only the food but the some of the vendors that we have, and just a great way for our parish to show off our fine Hellenic cuisine.
Yeah, America's biggest pastime is going out to dinner. I always tell people you might not like the same movie, you might not like the same concert, but people have to eat, and they definitely can at the Greek Festival. They
do, and they've shown us their support in the past, and we deeply appreciate that, and we hope that they'll continue to do so. But you're correct; people do go out, and we find ourselves as being one of the nicer events on the calendar of the city of Newport News and the greater peninsula as well. That we do have this event every year in the fall, and then of course the large festival in at the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after Memorial Day.
Yeah, that'll start May 30th through June the 2nd, so that's not too far away either. But There's also church tours as well.
Correct. We're very proud of our Byzantine Church of Saints Constantine and Helen, and there will be someone in the church at all times answering questions. We will have tours, 3 tours a day, but we also will have someone in the church all day answering your questions, explaining the faith, explaining the 3 parts of the church, and are there to assist people in understanding. You know, they might drive by this building all the time, but answer their questions regarding of our place of worship that we're very proud of.
Talk about some of the favorite foods you've had over the years that are Greek, and also you spent some time growing up in Chicago, and you're also in Roanoke. So talk about the different festivals you've been to and how they compare to Newport News.
Well, in Chicago, every church pretty much had a Greek festival, and those were usually from Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day. Obviously, it gets quite cold in Chicago in the fall, so those festivals are from May to September. But again, if you look like in Florida, where I have friends that are clergy, their festivals are in February.
Mm-hmm.
So, but each church has taken upon itself to have their festivals, and just a way to highlight not only their individual places of worship, but also the Greek cuisine, the dancing, the traditions of Greek culture. And in Roanoke, we did not do a festival every year. We did an event back in the day called Holiday in Athens, where it was one meal, and we did it every other year. Now, Holy Trinity in Roanoke does do a festival every year, and they just had it a month ago. Obviously, we have quite a bit of property here, and our festival is quite large because we accommodate such a great clientele from all over. And it's been our pleasure to do that, and we will continue to do that.
It's also like a reunion every time you see people out there because you're in a closed environment at the indoor festival. The outdoor festival is kind of big. You might have some people inside, some people outside, but the indoor festival, you pretty much see everybody walking in the front door.
Yeah, I've had people come up to me at the large festival and say, "We saw you from far away. You were talking to somebody," and it's again that many people under a tent, and it's very difficult to see everybody. We make every attempt to do so, but in the fall it's more condensed. Obviously, we're in the Sakalis Hall of the Hellenic Center, and you can get a pretty good, better view of everyone coming and going.
Your favorite foods, Father, over the years?
I do like moussaka and pasticcio and spanakoppites, and also the lamb shank. If I were to go with those would be it. And obviously, growing up in Chicago, we had quite a few fine Greek restaurants, which was very authentic Greek food. You got great Greek cooking from chefs and what have you. So I've had some good Greek food in my day.
Next year, 2024, is a big year for you personally and our church. And, of course, our 75th anniversary as well as your 25th anniversary.
Next September, our church will celebrate its 75th anniversary since its founding in 1949 in the old church at downtown Newport News. Yes, I will be here 25 years then and 35 years in the ministry in October of next year. And I'll reach 60 years of age over the summer. So it's a couple of milestones for me, but more importantly, the milestone for the church, 75 years of our founding, and the original founders had a dream, had a vision. They came together, they did it, and now it's up to us to continue that vision.
And how about your Bears, Father? They did beat Washington.
They did, and they're 1-4, and Green Bay lost and on Monday. So we hope that things will turn around with Justin Fields and the Bears. We can all hope, because I'm a big baseball fan, and the White Sox were out of it months ago with the winter sports now. I have the Bears, the Blackhawks, and the Bulls. So we will hope for something to come out of that.
Yeah, Minnesota's struggling as well, but Detroit is done very well in football this year.
Oh, yeah, they were picked to win the division and probably in all likelihood will.
All the best, Father. We look forward to seeing you at the Fall Festival, and thank you for everything you do for our church.
It's my pleasure, and to those listening, if you can, please make every effort to support our event on October 26th to October 28th. God bless you and your families in this holiday season, and may 2024 be one of health and happiness for all of us.
Absolutely. Fourth quarter of the year is about to wind down. Father, all the best to you and the family.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Father George right there from Newport News. Sports Scene will continue after these messages. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, open in Yorktown. Go by and see Paul and his wonderful staff. High-quality chicken fingers, fries, coleslaw, Texas toast. It is delicious. The great chicken sandwich, cane sauce, a kid's menu, refreshing beverages, tailgates. They've got it all. Follow Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers on social media. They are open daily. Matney Gallery consults for museum acquisitions and investment art for private and public collections in Virginia and elsewhere. Specialists in Southern Art, International Contemporary, and Virginia colleges. Southern Art and photography as well. Lee Matney is available to speak in front of your group. He is a trusted partner. Consultations are always confidential. Oh Yummy Sushi Japanese Restaurant in Kemps River is open and ready to serve you, featuring an all-you-can-eat experience with signature dishes from the kitchen and fresh sushi prepared for you. Oh Yummy Sushi is open for lunch and dinner daily with dine-in, carry-out, as well as DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. Located at 1255 Fordham Drive at the Kemps River Crossing. Call 937-2011 for Oh Yummy Sushi, the best sushi in Hampton Roads.
A tradition of excellence for over 50 years is the Aberdeen Barn Steakhouse in Virginia Beach. Start your experience off with she crab soup, an assortment of appetizers such as the fried oyster Rockefeller crispy calamari, just to name a few. Aberdeen Barn has the finest premium steaks, prime rib, grilled tomahawk ribeye, seafood, chicken, pasta dishes, and live music in a most pleasing atmosphere. Open daily. Visit them at 5805 Northampton Boulevard in Virginia Beach. Call 464-1580 and log on to aberdeenbarn.net.
Thank you to our good friends at Chick-fil-A in Edinburgh in Chesapeake. Fall into the delicious taste of a honey pepper pimento sandwich and the caramel crumble shake, all at Chick-fil-A in Edinburgh. Try them both today. Back with Sports Scene with our monthly featured guest, George McClain from the Marksman's Firearm Training Center and Indoor Shooting Range. George, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Greg. How about yourself?
Good. Well into fall. It's hunting season. A lot going on. The weather is changing. And starting next month, it'll start getting dark earlier. And with that said, George, when it starts getting dark earlier, you have to be aware of your surroundings and belongings a little bit more.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to be aware of that all the time. But obviously, when it gets darker, it makes it a little bit more difficult to see when you're outside. So you have to be more cognizant of your surroundings and keep your head on a swivel. That's the bigger thing that you don't typically have to do as much in daylight because you can see better. But at nighttime, that gives an automatic built-in hiding place to the bad folks, and they like to grab pocketbooks and groceries and anything that you're putting in a car, that kind of stuff. They can sneak up on you without you realizing it. So you really need to be aware.
And with that said, too, we're talking about a lot of times firearm safety, and we're lucky we live in this country where we're not having to worry about major catastrophes, and we want to give our hearts and prayers to what's going on in Israel. Nobody deserves that. No human being deserves to be threatened or touched or killed, and this is still the greatest country in the world, but we are aware of our brothers and sisters in other parts of the world that are fighting for freedom every day.
That's exactly right, and that's been going on for many years. No solution yet in sight. My fear for this is there's going to be other bad guys, meaning bad countries that we're at odds with, are going to be. They're the ones I think it's supporting the terrorists at this part. Because the terrorists don't have a country of their own that is named, I guess, after or for them. Yeah, so they're getting their funds, they're getting the equipment, they're getting the rockets, all this kind of stuff through other countries. So it's going to be a kind of a different war. Maybe if this drags out, Israel looks like they're making some pretty good gains. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, and maybe they'll survive all of this. They certainly didn't ask for it. It was total surprise on. That the attack even happened, and I think maybe the administration should have been a little bit more aware of what was going on, but that seems to be a failing of theirs, so we'll see how this goes.
Like George says, we have to be aware, and we have to be aware of domestic terrorism and, of course, copycats in this country and so forth. And the Marksman is located at 520 Industrial Park Drive in Newport News. A good time now to get trained, of course, and they're open Monday through Saturday. Phone number 757-872-4130. Give us an update. Like them on Facebook. Give us an update on Sundays, George. In the past, before COVID, you did have some Sunday hours.
We did, and right now, and I think we're going to stay with that for the near future anyway, is to use Sundays for our concealed carry classes, and it's still it's a combination of still leftover stuff from COVID. Having the manpower to do both things. Have the retail and have the back end classroom all going at the same time, and business typically picks up starting about now, going forward after a month or so after school has started, and everyone kind of gets into that groove, and then it kind of starts to pick up through the holidays and then the early spring. So we're kind of playing that by ear right now, and so we'll see how it goes. But if we do obviously start to open that full time on Sunday, we'll certainly be announcing that on our Facebook page. So keep an eye there.
And that way, the concealed carry classes, they can really focus on Sunday without a whole lot of distractions too.
Well, that's right. And that's the biggest thing. Again, a lot of manpower. We let we didn't dismiss anybody during COVID. We kept everyone on staff. But, we had some military folks, and, of course, they got orders to go different places. So we just didn't replace them as they left. And it's had been a little difficult finding qualified people, even though this is not brain surgery that we do. But you want someone that's a people person that knows firearms, how to describe, how to demonstrate, and obviously being a salesperson on top of that. But we don't. That's not something we push like a card leadership may, but we'd like to educate our customers and then assist them in selecting something that fits their needs, not just something we have and want to sell. So that's kind of been our method from the day that I started down there it's been 12 years ago now, I guess. Is that you want to help the customer become a satisfied customer. You don't want to sell them $500 or $600 handgun that they have no experience with at all, and they come in and then shoot it 2 or 3 times and decide they don't like it because it kicks too much. That's just money wasted, and they're going to see that, and they become a dissatisfied customer, and that's not what we're looking at.
George, we are in political season. It's amazing these politicians try to use guns as trying to get votes as well.
They do, and I've always had an analogy of they talk about drunk driving, and if you look at the number of fatalities on the road due to alcohol and compare that to the deaths used by handguns, it's astronomical how many more there are. But the analogy I use is like if you want to reduce drunk driving, as the politicians would say, is that you wind up taking the license away from the drivers that don't even drink. So the people that want to break the law are going to break the law. They don't care what the law is. So the folks with guns, they want to put all these restrictions on gun owners and restrict the types of guns that law-abiding people can have, but that does nothing to the people that don't care about the law. Those guns are out there. They're going to use them to do whatever they want to. So you're not going to fix gun violence by taking away guns from law-abiding people. You fix gun violence by educating people, learning what motivates the criminal mind to start with, which is an endeavor all in itself, and go that route. You take away a tool, which is all a gun is, and they'll come up with another tool, whether that be a knife, as it is in Europe. They've done the same thing, trying to get rid of guns. Well, guess what? Well, now they got a knife problem. So they're going to find, even if it goes down to Cain and Abel, they're going to find a big rock, if that's what it takes. So getting rid of the guns is not going to get rid of the problem, because you're not going to get rid of all the guns.
Absolutely. And like George said, you always have to be aware. What is selling right now, George? When people are walking in the door, what are they asking for? I know pistols will always be popular, but it is hunting season. People, want to be, armed with the right stuff.
Well, we sell a few rifles and get some in, but that's never been our niche. Ours has been the handgun market because we're more into the personal security. We are state certified to teach armed security guards, private investigators, bounty hunters, all of that. So it's all for that arm set. Well, none of these guys carry around rifles. They're all carrying handguns. So that's been our bailiwick. Now you bring up hunting season, and that's very true. So a lot of folks will come in. And there's as many different rifles and calibers. Very few people hunt with a 22 anymore. Probably about the smallest I might see, I don't know, maybe a 243. The 30-06 is kind of waning. 270s has always been popular. 30-06 is still popular because a lot of older folks, that's kind of what they've always had, what their dads had, what their granddads had. But just 7 and 8 millimeter, there's just a lot. But we know we can get the ammo for those, and a few of the guns that we get are a lot of used guns that people from estates, folks that passed, and their family members have brought firearms in to sell, and we'll put those up. But typically, again, we can order anything someone wants, but it's just very difficult to get a handle on what long gun is selling to where we want to stock a lot of it. So those we sell, but would typically be special order. That doesn't increase the price. It just means that if you know what you want, you want to whatever, and you want to come in and order it, we can certainly do that and still give you a good price on it. We stock a few shotguns. And that's folks during squirrel season. They'll typically we use the shotguns, and most of those are 12 gauge. And it's also we sell a lot of the shorter barrel ones. Not that classifies as like a short barrel rifle or anything. It's just the typical 18 or 16 inch barrel on the shotguns, is a lot for home defense as well. Of course, you would use double-aught buckshot with that. You probably don't want to go out and squirrel hunt with double-aught buck. So come in and talk to us. We can get whatever you want, but typically that's what we'll have in the case and hanging on the wall. As far as the handguns go, Taurus is really picking up good, but still Glock and Sig and Remington. Those are probably still the big three that we sell the most of. But a lot of the Tauruses are going. Smith & Wesson is come out with a great deal with us. So that's we also try to make a lot of those available too. So a good selection.
And of course, you have several lanes indoors for shooting as well. And of course, it's a great place for security guards, police officers, bail bondsmen to get some practice, or just a novice as well to learn. And really, every time you walk in there, there's something for everybody, and you have a great staff too, George, to help.
We do. They're motivated. Again, helpful is the key there, and that's to find out what the customer is looking for. And try to present something if they've got looking for something unusual or something that's similar to a model that we have. And just show them and explain the differences. Most of the folks, not all, but most of the folks that come in, they have an idea of what they're looking for. And occasionally we'll get the new shooters that come in. They have no idea at all, other that they know that they want to get a concealed permit, but they haven't shot a gun, or not, they shot one years and years and years ago, just not familiar with what's out there. And a lot of those cases, we refer them to our rental on the range side of the lobby. We got a lot of rental guns, so we can try to match them up with something, either the model that they're looking for, or something very, very close, the same caliber, same type of function, and then get them with an instructor to use that particular firearm. And when you get an instructor and you're taking private instruction, you don't pay extra for the firearm. That's included in the instruction. You do the ammo is the only thing we have to charge, because the ammo is expensive, and you just can't throw that in without jacking up the price. And you say, well, if you throw it in and raise the price to cover the ammo, then you've got to look at, well, depends on what you're shooting, because there's a huge difference in the cost of, obviously, 22 ammo and 45 ammo. So that's why we have to keep the ammo out separate.
George, thank you for enlightening us. All the best to you and your family. Look forward to talking to you in November as we get deeper and deeper into fall.
Okay. Well, Greg, you be safe out there and enjoy this fall weather.
Yeah, the Marksman's phone number is 757-872-4130. Open Monday through Saturday. Google the Marksman for more information. Like them on Facebook.
So, what's Greg's problem?
I'm very mad!
God, I'm so mad right now!
I know you're mad. I know you're upset.
It's time for What Tees Greg Off.
One of our favorite segments brought to you by Linda Matney Art Gallery in Williamsburg. Watch art come alive. Small talk, Kenny, with people you normally don't come across.
I'm not good at it. I don't like it either. The feel of chalk. It used to never bother me, but now just thinking about that chalky, dry friction gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Places that take credit card only and give you no other option.
Oh, that happens. That's going to happen more, too. A lot of people are getting rid of cash altogether.
People expect you to do something on time, yet they are never on time themselves.
Hypocritical. How about this one, Greg? When people say, no offense, as if it downplays anything offensive they're about to say.
Because it's already offensive and they're just trying to weasel their way out of it.
No offense, but are you always this stupid?
And that's what tees me off.
Sakura Japanese Restaurant in Chesapeake is your destination for excellent Japanese food, featuring fresh sushi and hot dishes prepared in the kitchen for lunch and dinner. Sakura is located at 1437 Sands Drive at the Walmart Way Crossing. Oh Yummy Sushi is at the Renaissance Place at 401 North Great Neck Road in Virginia Beach. Both Sakura in Chesapeake and Oh Yummy Sushi in Virginia Beach are available with DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Pickup. Tasty Japanese food the way you want it is at Sakura and Oh Yummy Sushi.
Thank you for listening to the October edition of Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris, available on the Audacy app, YouTube, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and now Apple Podcast. I want to thank our great guests, Rick Kiefner, Father George Chioros, and also George McClain. For more, log on to gjbtv.com. Click the YouTube link on the homepage. For Ken Carson, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon.
You've been listening to Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris.